Character clash.
Ready?
Round 1.
Physical skills.
Winnie is older than gunpowder, but she has an unusual amount of stamina. Winnie is not exactly an athlete, but let's not underestimate a witch who has spent centuries chasing children. Sure, her mobility is more witch and clogs than athlete, but when you've spent 300 years moving through mist and curses, you have to have some stamina, if only to maintain that voluminous hairdo. But Winnie is not known for her physical strength, but rather for her cunning and magic. Harry has moderate physical abilities for a wizard. Well, if chasing the snitch and escaping Death Eaters counts as cardio. And while flying on a broomstick and running around Hogwarts while fleeing trolls and dementors isn't exactly a CrossFit workout, he has proven that he has stamina. He might be able to take a good Quidditch punch, but hey, lifting a wand doesn't require bodybuilder biceps. Let's face it, if you put him in a boxing ring, he'd probably break a finger trying to cast an Expelliarmus.
Round 2.
Combat skills.
Winnie isn't much of a straight-up fighter. On the other hand, she has survived centuries of persecution and has fooled more than one witch hunter with her cunning and ability to manipulate. She has an army of spells, some hilariously ridiculous, but effective. Winnie has centuries of experience in dark magic and spells and is an expert in hexes and dirty tricks, and when it comes to combat, poisoning and petrifying children is her specialty. While she's not as stealthy as Harry, her knowledge of ancient spells and ability to manipulate others make her a formidable opponent. As for stealth, well, let's just say she has a pretty exuberant entrance, but to be honest, who needs stealth when you can teleport and shoot green lightning from your fingers? Still, she's still smarter and meaner than a teenager with a hero complex. Harry has had more duels than one could count, from Death Eaters to Dementors to Voldemort to Draco Malfoy to Bellatrix. On every secret mission, he ends up with half of Hogwarts on the hook. But in combat, when he has his wand in his hand, the boy knows what he's doing. Stealth isn't his strong suit either, considering that he always brings two friends, an owl, on every dangerous mission. His wand skills are solid, but stealth? Well, when you spend your life wearing an invisibility cloak, you learn something. His style is more of a rush into battle and hope that a protego comes along, and he keeps breathing. The downside is that he relies too much on others to get him out of the fire.
Round 3.
Survival skills.
Winnie has died more times than Kenny in South Park, so survival is clearly not her strong suit. Although her longevity is more due to magic than her wits. Winnie and her sisters survived 300 years, which is pretty impressive. Sure, a little black magic and child sacrifice helps, but she's a born survivor. Sure, she's lasted for centuries, but only because she needs to steal the youth of others. Letting herself be disintegrated at dawn for failing to anticipate the clock. Well, that's not much of an expert survivalist, is it? The problem is that her arrogance and her obsession with explaining her evil plan to everyone tend to work against her. A witch screaming her curses is not the definition of stealth. But hey, at least she doesn't die from an Expelliarmus. Without them, her ability to survive is greatly diminished. Look, if there's one thing Harry's done, it's survived. He's survived Hogwarts, which is saying something. Since he was a baby, he's come out of every encounter with Voldemort like he has premium life insurance. If there's one thing Harry knows how to do, it's staying alive when everything should say otherwise. He endures psychological torture, deadly curses, and fights with giant snakes. He may not always make the best decisions, why not just use a portkey? But honestly, most of his survival moments are down to luck and having loyal friends. We're looking at you, Hermione. Without a wand and Ron telling him what to do, he might end up lost in the Forbidden Forest in less than an hour.
Round 4.
Unprepared.
Winnie is quick with her tongue and spells, but if she's caught without her grimoire or potions on hand, things get complicated. If you catch her off guard, She'll just yell something theatrical and cast a curse or summon her sisters to help. But without her sisters, she's overly confident that their presence will intimidate. Of course, as soon as Harry called her a wicked witch, she'd probably waste a few seconds yelling insults. Winnie may be theatrical, but she's not to be underestimated. She might turn him into a toad or take away his voice, which would be pretty entertaining. She might not have the Elder Wand, but her powers go way beyond a simple trick. In short, in chaos and evil, Winnie shines. Harry is quick to think and act, but without his wand and no time to prepare, its effectiveness is diminished. But if Harry and Winnie were to cross paths in an alleyway without warning, Harry would most likely ask Hermione for advice on what to do. Well, seriously, he would draw his wand first, but only because he is used to being attacked every year. Still, he would need a few seconds to remember whether to use Expelliarmus, as usual, because it is apparently his go-to spell, or shout Expecto Patronum in case a Dementor appeared. But it might not be the most useful thing against a witch with 300 years of experience.
Round 5.
With preparation.
Winnie is quick with her tongue and spells, but if she's caught without her grimoire or potions on hand, things get complicated. If you catch her off guard, she'll just yell something theatrical and cast a curse or summon her sisters to help. But without her sisters, she's overly confident that their presence will intimidate. Of course, as soon as Harry called her a wicked witch, she'd probably waste a few seconds yelling insults. Winnie may be theatrical, but she's not to be underestimated. She might turn him into a toad or take away his voice, which would be pretty entertaining. She might not have the Elder Wand, but her powers go way beyond a simple trick. In short, in chaos and evil, Winnie shines. Harry is quick to think and act, but without his wand and no time to prepare, its effectiveness is diminished. But if Harry and Winnie were to cross paths in an alleyway without warning, Harry would most likely ask Hermione for advice on what to do. Well, seriously, he would draw his wand first, but only because he is used to being attacked every year. Still, he would need a few seconds to remember whether to use Expelliarmus, as usual, because it is apparently his go-to spell, or shout Expecto Patronum in case a Dementor appeared. But it might not be the most useful thing against a witch with 300 years of experience.
Round 6.
General data.
WINIFRED Sanderson. Physical skills 5. Combat skills 8. Survival skills 7. Unprepared 7. With preparation 9. Total 36. Harry Potter. Physical skills 6. Combat skills 7. Survival skills 8. Unprepared 6. With preparation 8. Total 35.
Final round.
Conclusion.
WINIFRED Sanderson wins by a hair, or rather, by a spell of youth. While Harry confronts his enemies with spells such as Expelliarmus or Stupefy, which are defensive or non-lethal, Winnie uses much more aggressive and dark magic, including hexes to steal the lives of children and prolong her own youth. Over the centuries, Winifred has amassed a repertoire of spells that lean toward mind control, life manipulation, and illusion creation, all of which can be lethal in the context of a confrontation with Harry. For example, she could use her magic to disorient Harry, create illusions of his friends, or summon shadows to confuse him, which could give her a huge advantage in a fight. Winifred is not only cunning, but also has a wicked and twisted nature that Harry, with his moral compass and sense of justice, does not share. Although Harry has faced dark wizards such as Voldemort, and has proven himself very adept at getting through difficult situations, he has always done so with a certain ethical code. Winifred, on the other hand, has no qualms about using any trick, no matter how low, to overcome her enemies. An example of her cunning is how she manages to trick the residents of Salem in 1993 into believing that she and her sisters are simply entertainers during a Halloween party. One aspect of note is Winnie's use of her spellbook, which is a grimoire filled with dark magic capable of performing powerful enchantments. The book, being an almost living being, provides Winifred with an even deeper connection to the wizarding world, allowing her to access magic beyond Harry's reach. In the end, experience trumps youth, especially if you can soak it up with a potion.
We're young. Well, younger. But it's a start!
Do you agree with the result? And if not, tell me why. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like and share.